Okay, so now we're live on YouTube. Okay, hello guys from YouTube. Let me send the questions. Okay. Can you see them?
Yeah.
Yeah? Great. So Ricardo, let's start with you. As a Brazilian, what are you proudest of and why?
I don't know, but normally I notice foreigners values a lot the way of Brazilian carry each other. I believe that's weird, because in other countries, normally the people, for example, French, Americans, don't like to touch in our body, but when the foreigners come to Brazil, they really love this part of our culture. Not exactly Brazilian, but Latin culture. A lot of Latin countries love or appreciate. Not exactly everyone, but it's common. The people like to, I don't know, look at the eyes, shake your hands, hugs, and the other things. So in this case, I believe that is, uh, in my opinion, is the proudest part of our culture. That's it.
Yeah. It's
How about
really
you?
nice to see that. In my opinion, it's really nice because even in like diplomatic relations, we can see that Brazilian people are touchers, right? They like to hug, they like to shake the hands. And most cultures, they don't do that, right? So it's nice to
Yeah.
see the difference. What about you, Mariana? What do you think about it?
I'm proud of nature because we have a fantastic nature. I'm also proud of Brazilian people because I think we are working hard people, and despite the difficulties, we are always smiling and having fun, dancing, and some countries, they are a high quality of life, but they are pessimistic people, and Brazilian are always smiling, and I think we are lively people.
That's totally true. We can see the difference, right, between our humor and like British humor. There they don't have sun most of the year, right? So they are always like sad and those things, and we are always cheered up, right? It's great to see that as well. And our nature, I guess, is the thing that we should be the most proud of, right? Because Brazil is the country that has the most nature in the world. We have Amazon rainforest, right? And you, Diane?
For me, it's the same as I agree totally. I totally agree with Marina and Ricardo. I think that the thing that makes me proudest the most is the way that we treat people. I think that is very different. We are very welcoming people. We are also very cozy. I don't know how to say that, but I think that we are more, I don't know, we are warm, I guess, something like that. So it's different. And this is something that the foreigners normally like about us. The other thing is our diversity in all of the sense possibles. Even when we are considering the people that we have here, like the face of them, it's so different from other countries because we are so mixed. And I think that this is pretty cool because of that, I think that we are more we are more welcome about different people, about different cultures. So that's it.
That's also really like true because as the guy told us on the video, there's no such a thing like a Brazilian face. all of us are Brazilians, and we are so different, right? Because we're colonized by so many people, and we have Africans, Italians, Portuguese, all of them, right? They all live here, and it's crazy, right? Because usually we have a face like we can know where the people is from, right? The people are from, and here we don't have this thing. And you, Bru, what do you think? What are you proudest of?
I think I couldn't mention music, and I couldn't forget to mention music, and also culture in general. I think we are really multicultural country, that are mainly because I am such a fan of Brazilian music, and I always tell students I don't listen to international music. I just love samba, pagode, but like Brazilian rhythms. And I was raised to like listening to Brazilian people, so I am really proud of this cultural part of the country. That's it.
Yeah, we are a very cultural country. Because of this mixed, we have a lot of things that are mixed, right? Samba from the Africans, and funk was born here. So it's a craziness, right? We have a lot of things, and it's really cool to see this difference. So let's go to question number 2. Are there any stereotypes that get on your nerves about Brazilians? I can answer that by myself, because I can say that I hate when people think we speak Spanish. That's horrible. We don't speak Spanish. And most of the people outside of Brazil, they think that. And you, Mariana, what do you think? What gets on your nerves about stereotypes?
I hate that some people think Brazilian women are horny.
Can you
I
repeat?
don't know it. Horny.
Horse.
Horse. Yes. And when they think we speak Spanish too. And once in English, a guy asked me if I lived in the forest.
Really?
Yes.
People are crazy, right?
Yes. And they think we only think about football.
Yeah,
I hate
true.
these things.
That's hard. And you, Katiana, what gets on your nerves about stereotypes?
I remember in the past I go to the Dublin for study English, and I remember about stereotypes.
Katiana, I can't hear you. Guys, can you hear her?
Yeah, no.
Now I can hear you.
It's better.
Now it's better. Okay. I said in the past I remember when I go to the Dublin, Berlin, they stay there for 5-6 months. And I remember I meet a friend, the Irish friend, and this friend said, if you stay in the street and you have people hug and speak very well with the hand, is a Brazilian, Italian, or Spanish people. And I think this stereotype is very strong in the Latin people. And I think it's okay for me. It's okay because I think it's part of the culture, our culture. I think it's about this. For me, it's okay. But for the other hand, when the people in the Europe, for example, don't have this custom, and when you hug the people, a man, for example, thinking other things, it's not common. You have a hugging the man, and the people say, "No, this girl tá dando mole para mim." I don't say this thing in English, but it's very different, and you need to be careful with these things.
That's true. People think you are flirting, right?
Because sometimes it's you don't think about these things. For example, last month I stay in the job in the office, and it's very common. I stay with the Norwegian, and sometimes with the other people, and I meet a Norwegian and I have a hug, and in that time the man is freezing because it's not the customs of these people. but this man stay in Brazil for 2 years, and I think
He got used to it, right?
yes.
No, it's pretty common to see things like that. We are different. We are warmer, just like Diane said. We are more welcoming, right? So it's really different to see the cultural habits that we have and the others have, right?
Yes.
And you, Ricardo, what stereotypes you think they are not really true? What do you don't like to hear about Brazil?
I had an experience a long time ago. I was talking with a foreigner, and he told me that the Brazilians are healthier because they drink water directly from the waterfall. That's really nice. And he asked me about the animals. If you saw a monkey every day or another kind of animals, but that's the long time ago. Nowadays, improve a lot. A lot of people knows about Brazil and our culture. Well, Brazil is one of the biggest country of the world, and the economics is not so good today nowadays, but a couple of not a couple, but a long time ago, Brazil is the 60 economic of Brazil of the world. But I believe that is in my opinion, the terrible thing about Brazil is about violence, and this thing is not exactly a lie. So as I told you, a lot of foreigners learn a lot about Brazil and the part of our culture. So I believe that the stereotype is not not so wrong about this part, unfortunately. That's it.
Yeah. And this is very sad, right? We can see usually poor countries, as we are, undeveloped countries, they have this problem of violence, right? Even developed countries, they have such a problem, like France, for example. When I visit France in 2021, no, 2020, 2020, yeah, 2020, the beginning of the year, there I saw a person being arrested. So, and it's a first world country, right?
I'm sorry, Giovanna, but I wonder that I visit France. I don't remember the year. That's so nice for me.
It was because it was the
I
beginning
don't
of
know
the.
what time I saw visit so much French. I don't remember
No, it was
the last time.
because no, it was because it was before the pandemic, and I remember when I arrived, the pandemic started, and I was kind of lost between these years with the pandemic, so that's why I got a little confused. I only visit France once, okay? I'm not rich. I'm a teacher. That's impossible.
It sounds different, but that's okay, Giovanna.
No, it's not like that. I wish, right? But it's not like that. And I lived in Rio, and I've never seen a person being arrested, and there I saw one. So it's really weird, right? And that happens, but the violence, it's really true here, and it's sad, right? What about you, Diane? What do you think about stereotypes, and what do you don't like to see people talking about?
Well, in my opinion, I think that all of the stereotypes that we have are negative because we feel this pressure to be like this, when we are interacting with foreigners, like we need to be like welcoming because Brazilian people normally are. So I think that all of them are negative at some point. But the ones that I hate the most are this one that we like all of the Brazilian people like football, like samba, like carnival, and I don't like any of these things. So when I'm interacting with natives from other countries, like I feel like pressure, like it sounds like I feel like if I wasn't Brazilian enough, something like this. So it's so negative for me, this stereotypes. So, but I think that is so natural, to create some kind of stereotypes. I mean, all of us have some kind of stereotype from other people, so it's natural, but at the same time, I feel that it's negative, all of them.
Yeah, because they don't live here, so they don't know. They only know what they hear, right? So
Exactly.
they know most people like samba. So they would think everyone likes samba, right? And we have Pelé. Pelé was born here, so everyone must like soccer, right? And it's really weird because it's not like that. And personally, I don't like samba as well. And people think that we should know how to dance samba. Right?
Exactly.
Most people don't know. Right? It's crazy. And you, Bru, a stereotype that you don't like?
You guys said so many stuff, so I would just go with something Mari said. I feel that sometimes the image like foreigners have from us is that we are always like sexy, and I think also sometimes the image we portray to the world, and the things that are shared or like broadcast to the world are images where we are like hypersexualized, and I think this is difficult too. So yeah, I feel this is the saddest part for me, that like I saw a girl another day sharing her experience abroad, and she said that every time she mentioned she was Brazilian, like everybody thought she wanted to hook up with them or to like do things like that, and this is really bad. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the most famous things that we show to the world, right? Because, for example, Anita.
Yeah.
I love Anita, okay? I love her songs. But she's very sexualized, right? She dances sexy things. And people think all women here in Brazil are like Anita. And it's not like that, right? Because she now is an international artist, right? And she's Brazilian. And such as that, she represents Brazil, right? And like culturally. And then people think we are just like her, and it's not true. There are a lot of women that don't like to dance. There are a lot of women that don't know how to move their hips and those things. That's not such a thing, right? And it's sad to see that because most countries they don't have this culture that women are like this thing, right? This like sexualized thing. Let's go to number 3. The most breathtaking place you visited in Brazil. We have a lot of beautiful places here. So let's start with Daiane. Daiane, the most breathtaking place you visited here.
Well, in my case was Rio de Janeiro. I have visited Rio 2 times, and it was amazing for me because Rio has so many beautiful landscapes. All of the places that I went had some mountains in the ao fundo. I forgot how to say that, but you got it.
Like the horizon. What is it?
Yeah. So it was so beautiful for me, this nature thing, because I live in São Paulo. So here in São Paulo, I think that we have a lot of buildings all the time, so this gray thing.
Don't say bad things about São Paulo, okay? Bru lives there. Just want to be mad at you.
But I don't feel this thing that I felt on here, like this nature thing, this like great and big horizon that we have on here. So it was pretty amazing for me, and the people there were very welcoming too. So it was an incredible experience for me. But that's it.
Really cool. Nice. I'm from there, so I know what it is. It's a great place. Tatiana, what about you?
I think a beautiful place. I love the beaches in Bahia, and In Bahia, in south of Bahia, sul da Bahia, you have a beautiful beaches. Praia da Paixão, Praia do Tororão e Cumuruxativa. It's a beautiful place, it's quiet place. You don't have anyone in some time. It's very beautiful. Google this beach. It's very, very beautiful. Praia do Tororão, Praia da Paixão e Cumuruxativa. It's next to Curumbau. Curumbau is very beautiful, but it's very far away, this beach. But this beach is in the south of Bahia, and it's very beautiful.
I've never heard of these places, but I know the northeast of Brazil
It's
is
because
awesome.
it's a secret.
It's a secret.
It's a secret because in the past I live in Bahia, and and my friends introduced this beach for me, and every year I go to Cumuruxativa because it's a very beautiful place for stay. It's very beautiful.
I can
It's
imagine.
different because, for example, Porto Seguro, you have people
A
a
lot of
lot and stay together in Porto Seguro, but in this beach, it's different. The nature is different. The atmosphere is different. It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful.
I'll visit someday because I love beaches and I don't like crowded places. So if it's like if there's no one there, I would love to be there. What about you, Ricardo? The most breathtaking place in Brazil?
I don't know. I could mention in my region there is a beautiful place, and it's not so no like Katiana told about some bits. It's Itaquitanduva, is the name of this. It's a beach, but for you reach this beach is necessary pass a little mountain, so it's difficult to reach, and that's a really nice. That's weird because there are some beaches not so clean, but when you cross this mountain, you reach a so beautiful place. There are a lot of plants, animals, and the fishes on the water. That's really nice. Itaquitanduva it's south coast from São Paulo.
Nice. I've never heard of that as well.
Yeah.
And as we can see, the strongest part of Brazil is the nature, right?
Yeah.
Because all of us mentioned nature. Beaches,
Don't mention for
the
forever.
horizon.
Don't
I'm
mention
sorry?
for much people. It's a secret show.
Yeah. Yeah, because those places, they are not really known, right? So I've never heard of them. Have you guys heard about those places?
Never.
I've never heard. So they are really a secret thing, right? Mariana, tell us the most breathtaking place you visited here in Brazil.
Beach too. I love it. And Northeast beaches in Pernambuco and Alagoas. I think the most beautiful is Praia de Pioca near Maceió, because the sea is turquoise, and the is warm. It's fantastic. On the photo we can see like you when we see with the eyes, but it's amazing. And when I retire, I want to live there.
You want to live where people
Google.
go on a vacation, right?
Yeah.
Nice, great. Guys, this sea here in Brazil is awesome because we mostly northeast, the beaches are like clearly as the sky, right? So it's great to see that we, with our difficulties, we still have those beautiful places, and it's really cool to see that, right? And you, Bru, you must say Minas Gerais. You were here this year, right? Last year. You need to say Minas Gerais, Bru.
Yes, Jim. For real, I must tell you guys, I like my family doesn't travel that often. I didn't have a lot of experience around the country. Like I left the state for the first time last year. So even here in São Paulo, I don't know a lot of places because just because we are not used to doing it. And now that I am like getting financially independent, I am starting to do it on my own, because my family doesn't do it that often. So the first time I went to Minas was last year, like that I traveled by myself too, and it was really nice. Some places I visited there, they were beautiful. I think Lagoa da Pampulha was really nice, really, really beautiful place. I went to Mirante, I think it's Mirante Mangabeira too, like where you can see the entire city. That is also Praça da Liberdade, which is like huge, and it was Christmas, and like there were some Christmas lights and everything. It was really beautiful. And yeah, I liked Minas. It was not Minas at all because I just experienced BH, but it was really, really nice. I loved it, and I can't wait to be back pretty soon.
Yeah, I saw your Instagram. You're coming back. It's great to see that. Guys, Minas is beautiful. Come here. It's really cool. So let's go to question number 4. This one is nice. Imagine a poor guy in front of yours is going to visit Brazil. It's coming here. What advice would you give them? To think, because we need to advise people of a lot of things, right? So let's see, Tatiana, what advice would you give to your friend?
I think it's don't stay with your cell phone and take a picture in middle of the street. My sogra, it's mother-in-law, it's living in Portugal. It's very common when she stay here, stay with the street and pick with many pictures. And my husband and I and every time, so don't stay with your cell phone in the street. And in the other time, the last year, my mother-in-law, how do you say hobo? I don't remember the hobo.
She was arrested?
No, it's almost arrested because you my mother-in-law have other people in next to, but it's I think for all the foreigners, don't stay with the cell phone in the street. It's necessary speaking when put the food in Brazil, when put the feet in Brazil.
You need to be very careful. You can't walk with your wallet shown. You can't walk with your cell phone shown. You need to be really careful because it's the violence, right? Just like Ricardo told us, it's true, it happens, so you need to be careful, right? And you, Ricardo, what advice would you give to your friend?
I don't know about negative things. There are a lot of, unfortunately. That's weird, you know. I believe that is the foreigners normally use it to be naive about our problems. I remember I was talking with a Chilean guy, and they don't have it so violence than Brazil. So sometimes it's difficult to give an advice for these guys because they didn't wonder if these things could happen. So it's so much important to talk about it. But I believe that I could mention positive things for example, our food that's really nice and appreciate for foreigners. So
That's true.
and about our nature. That's it.
Guys, our food is the most amazing thing because
Yeah.
we're the only country who has feijoada, pão de queijo, brigadeiro. Guys,
Yeah.
they are awesome.
Farofa is they love the too. No?
Yeah, no, people love our food. There's a famous person. Her name is Hailey Bieber. She's married to Justin Bieber, and her family is Brazilian. And she loves to eat feijoada. She always posts on Instagram, "Oh, I'm eating feijoada today." And I think it's very nice because it's our cultural thing, right? We only have this here, and it's spreading, so it's really
Yeah.
cool to see that, right?
I'm not a good person to tell about, for example, barbecue, because when I go to the barbecue, I prefer eat farofa than meat. So
Really?
yeah, I
I
love
can't
I love
believe
farofa.
that.
I love it to mix with rice. So sometimes I just eat it.
But don't you like meat?
I like it. I eat something, but I prefer. Sometimes I just put some portion of meat and another plate just for farofa and the rice.
Yeah, this is a nice thing as well because barbecue here is very different from the other countries. We call it Brazilian barbecue. A curiosity, there is once I had a student, she was Irish and I was teaching her Portuguese. And then her family were Irish, right? And then she told me that the barbecue here, it's really different. And her family thought it was dangerous and weird to put alcohol in to fire up to light up the fire, right? And then they thought it was dangerous. We couldn't do that. And it was even for us here, it's normal, right? To put alcohol in our barbecue so we can light up the fire, right? And for them, it was craziness. We would die if we did that.
A friend of mine takes a foreigner to the barbecue, and the foreigner told which holiday we are celebrating in some day. Oh.
On weekends, the
Yeah. No,
weekends.
it's just a party.
Yeah, we celebrate every day. We don't have these things. We need a special day to do a barbecue. No, we can do it every weekend if you want, and if you have money, right? So let's see. Nayani, what advice would you give to your friend?
My case, I would say the same, to take care of your belongings, to avoid visiting places that you don't know, without a tourist guide or something like that, because some places here are very dangerous. To avoid talking with strangers.
Yeah.
This kind of thing that we as Brazilians avoid too, But just that. And I would say to the person to visit some many places as possible, because we have so many places here, and that's it.
That's great. And we need to advise them to don't use Waze, right? Mostly, I don't know in your state, but
That's
mostly
true.
in Rio, you can't use Waze if you don't know where you're going, because you can enter a place that is dangerous, and we need to advise them don't use Waze. And you, Mariana?
Be careful with your things. Travel, if possible, travel around Brazil to know the country, the different parts of the country. Go to Brazilian parties and churrascos, because I think we have the best. And eat Brazilian food, brigadeiro, pão de queijo, and açaí.
Yes, açaí. Guys, açaí is the most amazing thing because we only have this here as well, right? It's really cool to see that. And even in Japan, people are eating açaí and calling it açaí because it's spreading, right? It's great to see that. I love to see our culture spreading the nice things, right? Because people have such a bad vision of Brazil, right? And those good things spreading is really cool to see. Bru, an advice.
Let me see. The guy said everything. Being the last one is always hard. But I think that visiting places, just like the guy said, talking about the food, I don't know. There are so many nice museums here too. I think this might be a good idea, like take them to museums. Of course, the negative parts, they are important too for their safety, right? And also like be careful with guys who are trying to scam them, mainly when we are like tourists in places. Like a lot of people try to take advantage of tourists, so I think it might be important to be careful too, you know, like someone trying to read the palm of your hand, like do things like this, you know, like offer you services, things like that. There's always someone like trying to take advantage of foreigners and of tourists. So um, I think it's important to be careful. Maybe talk to like guys who are from the city, you know. I think this is a good advice, you know, like be around like people who really know the city and can like recommend the right places for you to. I feel that sometimes these mainstreamed places are crowded and they are not that nice, and sometimes smaller places or smaller restaurants, they can be also good, you know, and you can meet other places that are not that crowded and not that famous, you know. And I think this is nice to experience the city, you know. That's it.
That's totally true. And have you guys ever seen that meme that is people telling, for tourists it's more expensive. You're selling something and Brazilians are smart, right? So if you're selling a thing for tourists, it's more expensive. Okay. If you don't live here, you need to pay more. And that's take advantage of a person, right? And people must be must be careful, right? Because it's dangerous and it can be a scam, right? So guys, it's almost ending. We are question number 5. I'm sorry, I like to talk a lot and YouTube. I don't know if it happens a lot. This is my first time here. So let's continue. So guys, just like we mentioned, food here is a strong thing, right? And our foods are different, are heavy, right? We eat feijoada, we eat like a lot of meat, and most of our foods are heavier than like Europeans food, or I put here Irish because it's in Europe and it was the first thing that comes to my mind. But do you think that Brazilian food is heavier than other countries' food or not? Do you think they're the same thing?
I believe that's if you compare our lunch for example, American is Brazilian is so much healthier.
Yeah.
We traditional we eat rice and beans, salad.
Real food, right?
Yeah, exactly. Certainly the junk food, the trash food reaching us. There are a lot of stores that sell burger and other things, but it's it's easier to eat health food in Brazil, my opinion.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, it depends on the country you're comparing, right? Because here in Brazil, we have a healthier food related to the USA, but there are some countries, like for example, India, that they eat mostly salad. So you eat heavy. It really depends, right?
Yeah.
What about you, Katiana? What do you think of our food comparing to other countries?
I think the lunch it's very healthy in Brazil because you, like the Ricardo said, the rice, the beans, the meat, and salad, it's very healthy. But when you compare, for example, with the Irish food, it's very different because there or the American food, it's very different. Eat bacon, and the Irish, I remember the Irish people eat a coffee with a drink. It's in the morning, and it's usually don't eat in the morning, and they eat a lunch in the middle of the day, and eat a coffee with a drink, and it's very different. And have a sandwich. And for me, when they stay there, I said it's very different. I need a bean and rice, and because it's very different. And I think the Brazilian food is very healthy. It's very healthy.
Yeah. Yesterday, I was watching a reel on Instagram, and it was a guy. He's American, and he was explaining to their people, right? To Americans, British ones who speak English and don't know Brazil. He was explaining what is real food when we say that we want to eat comida de verdade, and then it's not like sandwich, hamburgers. It's food, rice, beans, meat, salad, right? Real food. Because most countries, they like, I want to have lunch. I'll eat a sandwich. It's a lunch. And here, for us, it's not, right? A sandwich is a snack. It's not a lunch. And it's really nice to see those differences, right? What about you, Daiane? What do you think of our food compared to other countries?
I agree with the guys. I think that our food is healthier compared to the other ones. And I have a friend that worked as a au pair in Ireland, and she told me that there she normally prepared like burger for the kids, in the lunch, because they normally ate this kind of thing, and it was so weird for them to eat like real food, like rice and beans and this kind of stuff. And when I heard that, I was like, how is this possible, like this cultural shock. But when we think about it, and even when we are comparing to the American habits, as Ricardo said, I think that our food is so healthier that we need to be really happy with that,
Yeah.
But that's it. I think that we have good food here.
Yeah. Imagine if an au pair here gave to children a hamburger. The parents would be crazy, right?
That's
Because you can't give hamburgers to my child. It's the lunch
they would be
time.
fired.
Yeah, you would be fired. Imagine the cultural difference is huge, guys. It's very nice to see that, right? And you, Mariana, comparing the food, how would you compare?
I agree with you too. I think we are healthier. When I was in England, I was getting crazy because I wanted real food, and I only eat fast food because when I find real food, it was very expensive, like meat and fruits. I didn't find good fruits. They don't have taste. I wanted the papaya, and
It's a tropical fruit, right? So
yes,
you have it mostly here. To find it in other countries is hard.
yes, and in Italy too. I ate banana, but they didn't have taste. I like the taste of Brazilian fruit from Brazil here.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's why one question is related to fruits, because where people usually in other countries, they eat fruit and they don't like the taste because it's different. Because the fruit is not the original fruit. They put a lot of things so they can conserve, right? Because they need to move. Most fruits, they are grown here in Brazil because we are an agro country, right? So to the fruits stay like healthy and to go to another country, they need to put a lot of things in the fruit, chemical things, so it can be good for you to eat for like a few weeks and the fruit stay nice. So it's weird, right? To see that, because I want to eat fruits here in Brazil. I love fruits. What about you, Bru? The food. I know you are healthy, so tell me.
Not as much as I wanted to be, but I've already seen that. Well, there is a huge industry of junk food, mainly when we're talking about the US. I think they eat a lot of greasy and heavy food too. But I agree with the girls, actually with everybody, that here we have a lot of cheap fruits and vegetables that we have to eat is easier. And I have already seen like a lot of people who live abroad sharing their experience, and sharing how hard it is to find juicy and like tasty fruit, you know, and I think this is really common for us, and we are used to doing it and to buy it for a good price. And I can imagine how hard it is, you know, to just experience just like have these like different experience with bad fruit, not bad but not that good fruit, you know. And yeah, but in terms of being heavy or not, I don't think, of course we have heavy dishes, but I think that in other countries they are used to eating heavier food than us, you know.
Yeah. It just like I told you, I think it really depends, right? For example, fruits are lighter, right, than normal food, and here they're the best, right? And comparing to like feijoada, for example, is the heaviest food I've ever eaten. And
Yeah, but we don't eat it that often, right? Like
yeah,
I feel that we don't eat these heavier foods like every day, you know, or
yeah, that's true.
with in a high frequency. So
Yeah, and fruits, they are more frequent and we eat them more often, right? So personally, I eat fruits every day. I love, guys, avocado for me is the paradise. I love avocado. So if I go to a place there they haven't avocado, I guess I would die because I love avocado. So guys, we're finishing. I'm going to send here the survey. Don't forget to answer it, okay? Be honest, be nice, open your heart. So did you like it? It was my first time. Be nice with me. Yes. Bru, was everything